This is the stock market. We're going to look at the SPY, and we're going to look at daily and weekly analysis. Plus, we'll look at the chart streams, and you will then get an idea of what our live broadcasts are like with all of our analysis in there. So I think you're going to find it very, very interesting. And if you're going to, a reminder that if you subscribe to level 2, you're also going to get our daily snapshot, which has full analysis on the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, the NASDAQ and the Russell every single day that's sent to you. So that's all part of the level 2 special. Let's take a look now as we move over to the charts. I'm going to leave this Uber page right over here and take you to SPY. So this is SPY, and we are now in what we consider to be the window, and maybe a week outside of that window, where a bottoming is likely to come. If you are new to our analysis, then what we have here is cycle analysis. On the bottom are drawing tools, which are the cycle of brackets. On the top is how the cycles actually resolve themselves. And in this case, where you see the yellow ovals, that is where the biggest downside risk is, where you see these downside, what we call nesting, as cycles that come down. Then we have this much bigger cycle in there that's a 36-week cycle that nests way out here with these other cycles. And this is where we consider the real risk to be here in the stock market for another very significant move to the downside. But in the meantime, we've been looking for, of course, the market to fall all year long, except we thought that the fourth quarter would bring a time frame where there would be a opportunity for a market rebound. Now, if you didn't see the previous segment that I did, I show 9 stocks that I think will be participants with good risk rewards in a rebound. Also, what's going on right now is that you see this hammer here for the week where the market had a big rebound. This was on Thursday, and I'm going to show you the daily chart also. That's all in this time frame where we think the market will be bottoming. Now, you could see in here the reversal scout, and in a moment I'm going to show you our other momentum indicators. It's moving down very sharply, and this has work to do to make a bottom in here. Now, once the bottom is established, and that bottom is really not going to get established until the dollar finds a peak, and we think the dollar is getting ready to peak or peaking right now, so that's going to give you an opportunity for a rally. What are we looking for now? Well, we're looking for the market to stabilize and then begin to be able to get some upside. As just investors got sold out in here, and some big shorts in a lot of categories begin to cover, and they start to talk about the market, the economy slowing down, and inflation, which is still very strong, the comparison numbers starting to get a lot better. All of those things are likely to give the market a reason to try to rebound, and we think that this is the time frame it can rebound. So the bigger cycle that you see in here, we think that'll move up to sometime in January. Here's the minor cycle right in here, and our upside projection right over here, this is around 380. So that would be approximately 200 points in the S&P 500, something like that. That's not very much based on this market. This is kind of the middle range on those minor resistance, about 393. And to me, that's a lot more likely that we'll see that. And we'll see that in just the next number of weeks. Now, if we come and take out this low under this 3,500 level, it's going to change these upside projections. It'll mean the bottom didn't come yet. Though I think that that's a low probability. I think it's more probable that the market is going to be able to hold up in here, and that the low will have been established. And I'll show you that on the daily chart also. So we're looking for this time frame in here for a rebound, and just looking out in this 3-month plus time frame, when this minor cycle right out over here peaks, which sometime in December or early in the year in January, you then get into these much more negative periods right in there, and a fairly good potential that it moves down well into the under that 350 area, maybe 320 or lower than that. But right now we don't want to focus too much on that negative period. We want to really look at this period right in here where we're likely to get a rally. the intermediate resistance there is at 405, and the 38% is at 392. That 392 area really looks like it's going to be a magnet to us in here over these next couple of months. 405 would be under a very, very good performance, but it could happen. And again, we say that to you now when the market is extremely weak and just now giving a little bit of a sign of bottoming. Let's switch over to the daily chart in here, and this is incredibly interesting in here. What we have here is we've done a little revision in case our members are looking at this and saying it looks a little different to them. While I was working on how that timing is working on the intermediate chart, Matt sent me over his look at the daily chart, the shorter term, looking very carefully at a 27-day harmonic. So there are shorter 8-9-day harmonics in there, and that's these smaller little moves that you see right in here. And there are 3 of those minor thirds right there in each of these dominant cycles, 29 and 9 and 27 days. You can learn more about cycle analysis. Go to askSlim.com and look at the workshop page, and you'll see that. Now, we're looking for a bottom, an intermediate bottom to form, and at the same time, you can see in here, we're looking for a daily or short-term bottom to form. This engulfing that you see right over there is in line perfectly with what we were looking for on the weekly chart. And normally when you get a good candlestick signal like that, and let's just take a look here at what these last signals were like, that is significant. And you can see in here that you had an island in here that made that bottom. Here you actually had an island peak that made that top. Here you had an abandoned baby that made that top, and here you have an engulfing pattern that looks like it's made that bottom. Now this was a giant, almost 200-point reversal right there in the S&P 500. This pullback in here is not that strange, and today on Friday we're getting a big move down again in the foreign currencies, British pound, lots of turmoil there. That's giving the dollar another bid on the upside, and that's why this market's getting sold. Traders are looking at the dollar every tick. Now, if you're an intraday trader or day trader, you got to be looking at the dollar. If you're not, you're really not going to understand what's going on in the market. One more thing I want to note to you in here is that this is the slim ribbon right in here, which is our momentum indicator. And you can see in here when it was positive, the market was moving up. When it turned negative right in here, the market was moving down. When the bars are red and the slim ribbon PO is red, you're in a negative condition. And each of these arrows gives you a momentum resumption condition. Here to give you an upside resumption as it was moving up. Here it's been warning of downside resumptions, and it's still red. That means that the market has a lot of work to do. And that's what you have to be really cognizant of. While we're looking for a bottom, this really looks like the bottom to us on that engulfing pattern that formed right over there. It has to prove itself out, and it has to improve these momentum conditions in order to be able to get the upside move that we are now looking for, projecting. The middle of this resistance right over here is at around 380 right there. So these resistances are 372, 380, and about 388. And we think that they're going to go there after this panic in the UK market is over with. If the banks, pension funds get their positions all evened up here on Friday, which they're really being pressed to do, and we don't see UK fall into the ocean, then the market is likely to do better actually even next week. So despite the fact that the market's pulling back sharply in here, we think that this bottom is forming here where the timing is correct on the weekly chart, and even the capitulation brought it a little bit further longer in time, which is not unusual. Here you have a situation where it looks like that bottom is beginning to form on the daily. Now, if you get below that low, which was 348.11, this will have changed. And that's a good spot right over there to tell you that you can be looking for the market to be in trouble. That's way down 348.11, which is right around here, and we'll just carry that across right there so you can see that's what it has to do is get under there to violate right now what we're looking for. Right now, we're looking at these time frames giving us an idea that it should be bottoming based on everything that we have given you for this whole year. This was the time frame we look for that, not for a bull market, for just simply a rebounding period that could last for as much as a couple of months. It could last for as little as a month. And if that's the case, we'll really see the weakness there in the market. So that's what we're looking for right now. And we're going to look for the market to solidify and then give you the first gain. There's the resistance right there at 380. Here's the resistance right there at 380 on the daily. Here it is right over here on the weekly. And that's what we're going to be looking for. Breaks the low down in that area of about 348. Then you'll know this bottom has not formed yet. So highest probability is it is forming. Now, let's take a look here at this is live right now, and this is available to level 2 members, where it looks at the multiple time frames with all of our proprietary indicators on there. What you see here is this is the weekly. We don't really show much of that other than we want you to see, because this is for shorter term traders, we want you to see that the momentum in here on the weekly is negative by the reversal scout. Here is the daily right over here, and this is what I just showed you where the bottoming comes in here. This has that cycle in there, the revised cycle showing you that, and the bottoming right here. Here is the slim ribbon PO, which shows you it's negative. This right over here is the SMI, which Matt does a lot of work with. And here on the bottom is the option bias indicator. And you can see in here that it has been warning red. It's really been negative and telling you that this market is still in negative condition. This has to begin to improve. On your 2-hour chart, which is so key, you could see it got up here into the resistance area and then began to back off. And now here it's getting to that support where we would expect between 35.86, 35.28, as Matt has labeled, that would then hold the market as it would begin to move up again. And here you can see again the slim ribbon PO, which has neutralized here on the 2-hour, which is pretty significant. And you can see on here on the bottom, the market condition indicator, which is a proprietary level 4 indicator, just as the option bias indicator is, and the slim ribbon PO, that giving you very negative readings this whole period of time, even through that rally. And that has to improve before we get into this upward look that we're getting at. Here you can see as it rallied in here, the 15-minute turn down. This is Matt's fine work on the stock on the SIR live stream. This has its own separate stream also, which you will get as a level 2 member. And now what it did was it went through the yellow areas. Those are the areas that are acceleration zones. That's likely it's going to move through it when it gets there, but now getting into the support area right now. And this is likely to hold right over here as it pulls back after consolidating that huge gain from Thursday. So this is just a ton of information with all of our proprietary indicators. And I'm telling you what this is saying is that the momentum conditions are still very negative. And you can have this, of course, by becoming a level 2 member with our special deal that I showed earlier on in the show. I'll give you a little peek of that in a moment. That is our chart streams live stream. We actually do this for 11 different 11 different symbols, but as a level 2 member, you will get this one with the stock market. So I wanted to give you a good peek at that, and you can see that it has a lot of work to do before you really get into a period where it can get any upside traction as this bottoming is forming right over there. That's a look at the stock market. We think it's bottoming. It's the time, place for it to do it. And now the market has to prove that that is the case.